Hello Stampers, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a quick card to share with you today. This is using a new Sale-a-bration set from 2018 that on January 3rd you can start ordering as a free set once you order $50 worth of merchandise. So Sale-a-bration is a great time to pick up some free items to add to your collection. Today we're going to make this simple card here using Heartfelt blooms. So it's got this one image and then 3 great expressions, and we're going to go ahead and just put this together while we're talking this morning. So let's get started. So I'm using Melon Mambo as my card base with some black and white. So the first thing we're going to do is the mounting piece on the top of my card. See, I've got 2 layers here. I've run that through the embossing folder Layered Leaves. And this is one of our thick folders, so you run it through with just one plate. And when you run that through the Big Shot, it will impress these leaves on there for a front of the card. Okay, so that's going to be a 1 layer. And then I've got a piece of basic black and a piece of Whisper White that we're going to stamp on. Now what I did was I had a larger piece of Whisper White originally, and I inked up my image and stamped it, and then I took it to my paper trimmer and I trimmed it down pretty close to the edges of my image. So you see I have about 1/4 inch around my edges, but I cut it down after I stamped it the first time. Then I knew what size to go from there. So I believe this one is about 3 by 3 3/4, if I remember correctly. So sometimes it's easier just to stamp the image on the corner of a piece of cardstock and then trim it down to see what size you want to use it, because sometimes you want to add other things to it. Sometimes you want the image to stand alone. Like this time I have the image and then I offset the words over the image. So your grid paper is also a great way to measure your image stamped down when you're planning out a card. So, and I'm going to start a series this month called Case It, where we're going to pick a stamp set and a card designed from the catalog. We'll sketch it out and then we'll make a new card following that sketch with a different stamp set. So you'll see how I do that on the grid paper. Okay, so I've stamped my image on my piece of Whisper White, and now I'm just going to go ahead and mount that on my basic black. Before I had the mount on there, I'll show you, it would be fine without it, but I just thought that black trim gave it a little extra pop for the focal point. So we're going to mount that on black. Sometimes adding just a simple border will add a lot to your card. So there's that. Now I'm going to come in with my archival black, or your memento black, and I'm going to stamp on there Sending Heartfelt Thoughts. And I'm going to stamp right over the image. Make sure I'm holding that the right way. And there we go. Okay, so now we just have to put our first mount on the card. Now, you'll notice on this card I used some black and white gingham ribbon, which is retired. Last few days, I've been making Valentines to take to the flower shop locally here to sell for Valentine's Day. And so I used up a lot of my retired embellishments on those cards. So this time I'm going to use the vintage black ribbon, which is retiring January 2nd out of the Fall Occasions catalog. So if you don't have any, or if you really want some, you need to order that soon. So I'm going to put that on this card here. So the way I do that is I put snail on the back, and I tack down an edge into that snail, and then I make sure it's not twisted, and I run that across the front of my card, and then I tack down the other side on the back of that snail. Okay, now sometimes ribbon is thick and it won't really stick. So in addition, I'm also going to add dimensionals kind of overlapping on that ribbon as a second anchor. Now I'm going to pop my whole piece on dimensionals anyway, so that's not a problem. So go ahead and use those dimensionals to secure embellishments if you wrap them around as well. Some people will go ahead and use Scotch tape. It's on the back of the card, so that's fine. No one's going to see it. So, alright, so now that's going to be put on the top of our card, and that is just stepped in from the edge so that we have a little bit of a border there. And then I'm also going to pop this one up on dimensionals. Just like that. I'll get these off. Sometimes it's hard to get them off, so a trick I learned from a fellow demonstrator is press your finger into the center like a fingernail, and then the little paper backing will pop up a little bit. Alright, so now I'm just going to offset this inside of the previous border, and the front of our card is done. Now, I don't have them on the table right now, but I added rhinestones to my image here to give it a little bit of bling, so you could do that as well. And then because our card is dark, I'm going to go ahead and line it with a piece of Whisper White. Now, I don't have stamps here that I'm stamping on the inside today. Some people like to stamp on the inside later when they go to use the card, so they know who they're sending it to and what the inside greeting will be fitting to use. So sometimes you might not want to put the liner in it right away, because I usually recommend that you stamp it first, so that if it doesn't come out exactly the way you want it, you can flip it over, use the other side, or use a new piece. So you might want to take that into account when you're making your card. Okay, so there's our simple little card using one of the new Sale-a-bration sets coming out, like I said, January 3rd, that you can get with an order. Another great thing to know about Sale-a-bration is that if you sign up as a demonstrator during Sale-a-bration, you get to purchase not only the starter kit for a great deal, you get $125 worth of product for $99, but you also get to add 2 stamp sets from the catalog of any value. So that is a great value for any avid stamper. And then as a demonstrator, you'll have a 20% discount on all your orders. So that usually covers your shipping and tax and has a little left over as a true discount on your bill. So it's a great way to save money if you are buying stamps all the time. And like me, I buy stamps all the time. So let me know if you're interested in that. Just contact me at my website, pumpkinhillstampers.com, or you can email me at susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com, and I will help you get started with that. More than happy to do that for you. Alright everybody, have a wonderful first day of 2018, and I'll see you very soon in the new year. Happy stamping! Bye-bye.